So it's a really warm welcome to the Global Sports Channel today to Mr. Sam Iliades. Sam, how are you today, mate?
Good, thanks, Mark. How are you?
I'm great, and the first question I'm going to ask you is, did you ever think you were going to be on a sports channel podcast show one day in your life?
No, unfortunately, I'm definitely not an athlete, but it's great to be here. It's
Yeah,
great to be involved.
it's great to have you because we've got something really exciting to share with our audience today across the world. And I was just mentioning to you off air that we have listeners in over 103 countries, and you just never know when someone's going to pop up and be able to help you out in life. So that's the amazing thing about having that kind of audience. We're getting on the show today because we're making an announcement here from the Global Sports Channel that we've nominated a wonderful foundation that we would like to support through our efforts and to let our growing global audience know about this charity and organisation and the great things that they're doing. This charity was founded by yourself and is run by yourself. So why don't we start off by you telling the audience a bit about who you are, Sam, and what's your day job?
Okay, well, thanks, Mark. Yeah, I'm a pilot in various roles through corporate and airline. I also own my own aviation company with a partner in Melbourne, in Australia, and one of the biggest corporate jet charter companies, or the biggest one in Australia. And we operate a fleet of fixed-wing aircraft and rotary aircraft on charter domestically and around the world.
How did you get passionate about flying?
Look, it was something that started from a young age, and straight out of high school, I went into my flying training through a diploma course at the local university, and it's just something that just grew from there. It's just amazing.
It's addictive, isn't it? Once you're up in the air, and I've always said that the best office is at 35,000 feet.
It is. That's not wrong. That's just 100% true.
Yeah. If you could change something at the moment about the airline industry, what would it be, Sam?
No, look, unfortunately, the airline industry and travel in general is on its knees with the whole COVID pandemic. You've got pilots and flight attendants and engineers and all sorts of ancillary staff that have to do with airlines and aviation grounded without work, and nobody can see an end to it. We sort of hope the vaccine might bring a bit of relief, but nobody knows at the moment.
Yeah, right. Yeah, all our wishes to everybody out there who are suffering not only with COVID-19 but affected through the tourism industry and the airline industry alike. We know that there's a lot of people doing it tough, and there's also a lot of people doing it tough in the world of health. We're going to talk about a particular cause that you're involved in, Sam. In relation to your foundation, tell us the backstory in terms of how did this get started?
Sure. So we have a foundation called the Altitude Children's Foundation, and my partner and I started this foundation about 2 years ago now, when our youngest son was diagnosed with endocrine disease, which is quite a rare disease that affects hardly anybody in the world. It's called Addison's disease. And when we were trying to get some assistance and some advice through the various hospitals and medical providers, we kept on hitting brick walls. So we had to do quite a bit of work to sort of sift our way through what we had to do and treatments and other bits and pieces. And we just wanted to help other people that were in our shoes.
Fantastic. And when you first started it, first of all, how long ago did you actually start the foundation?
It was around 2 years ago now.
Okay. And did you find that there was a large community out there that needed help when you started getting things off the ground?
It was, because this endocrine area, or endocrinology part of medicine, is not an area that's on the radar for funding, for awareness or anything like that. It's an area where most of the sufferers for the rest of their life will suffer in silence, because it's not something you can see, feel or touch. But they live, with chronic diseases which affect them every day, and they need support, some research into making their lives easier. So that's where we wanted to step in and see if we could do something to help people out.
Right, brilliant. Tell us how sufferers actually do suffer. What are their symptoms, and how does it affect their everyday life?
Well, I mean, there's so many different areas involved in endocrinology, everything from diabetes, abnormal growth for children, adrenal issues. So there's different ways it affects different people.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay. What did you find the hardest thing about setting up a foundation, or did you find anything hard about it, or was it pretty easy to do that in Australia?
No, it's not really. There's quite a bit of paperwork, quite a bit of red tape. We had to go through everything and get our accountants involved and legal guys, just to make sure that we're doing the right thing and setting it up properly, so that we had a good solid basis to work from.
Right, fantastic. And what's the mission with the foundation these days? What are some of your goals?
Okay, the main thing is to raise awareness for endocrinological disease around the world. Uh, the next thing, obviously, is the ongoing care for people, and then obviously any research programs that can bring some sort of cure to any of the different types of diseases. The other thing we wanted to do was the big issue we had was getting care for young children at school. So if we can work around something like that, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, wonderful. And you were just telling me last weekend about a life-saving trip you did using your aircraft. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, our company's involved in doing organ flights where, unfortunately, there's somebody passes away in some part of Australia. They're an organ donor, and we get the telephone call. We fly medical crew to where that person's passed away. They'll harvest the organs and then bring them back to another state, another hospital, and there'll be organ recipients. And so basically, it's the end of life for somebody, and then the extension of somebody else's life, which is amazing.
Yeah, that's brilliant stuff. Now, I'm big on trying to encourage as many people as we can around the world to become more philanthropic in their life and serving others and giving back. Can you tell us a little bit personally how it feels to be doing things to make a difference in our communities and our society for you?
Look, I mean, the biggest thing for us is when somebody who's quite distraught comes to us and says, this and this and this is happening, and we can just step in and just provide just an ear to listen to their problems, a little bit of advice of what happened to us and how we dealt with it. And, that's really the gratitude that we want.
Great. Well, we're going to be asking people to not only make financial contributions, but also helping you out in lots of different ways. Can you tell us how some of the money being raised is going to be used within the foundation?
Yeah, so we've got a couple of different things. Obviously, research is the big one. At the moment, we currently have nurses at the Royal Children's Hospital in Melbourne. We have a specialist endocrine nurse who will sit down with families and discuss with them ongoing treatment of their children as they come through. So we'd like to extend that. And then the next thing is obviously having a regional program where we can have nurses going out to the schools and educating the teachers or the school nurse on how to look after children who have these issues at their schools.
Yeah, right. Brilliant. So is there an education arm to this as well in terms of creating awareness through education?
Oh, definitely will be, yeah.
Yeah, okay, great. So that's something that people can help with in terms of, providing enough funds for us or for you to be able to set up a educational pathway for this foundation.
Yeah, definitely. Most definitely.
Okay. And are you open to collaboration with other entities around the world that are focusing on this particular area as well?
Yeah, we have, and we've been in touch with quite a few of the different associations that deal with endocrine disease around the world. So more than happy, because there's some really good information out there. Most of it's in the UK. They have probably the best organisation dealing with Addison's disease at the moment in the world, and some of the information that they produce is just amazing.
Yeah, okay, brilliant. So we're going to be putting a page on our Global Sports Channel website dedicated to our partnership with Sam's Foundation. You're going to be able to find all the links, even account numbers to be able to make a financial contribution. And we'll get Sam to give us an update on a regular basis too of a blog post that we can stick there so you can see some of the developments and how the money's being used, because that's always an important thing, Sam, in terms of being able to show how the money's being used, where it's being put, and how people are benefiting from it, yeah?
Yeah, definitely. That's what everybody wants. And we're a charity where whoever works in the charity doesn't draw a wage, and all the money that gets donated goes 100% to funding projects that we need to do.
Yeah, that's great to hear. Well, listen, I'm excited to kick off our relationship today with your foundation. And as I say, we're going to be making a big noise about it on our website. And I want to thank you very much, Sam, for coming along today and just giving us an explanation of what your foundation's all about.
Thanks, Mark. I appreciate it.
There we are. That was Sam Iliades talking to me from the Altitude Children's Foundation that he established a couple of years ago in Melbourne, Australia. We're trying to help out his organisation by getting you, the viewers and audience of our Global Sports Channel, involved in giving back and making a difference. So any contribution you can make financially or otherwise, check out on our website globalsportschannel.com. and you'll find all the details about Sam's foundation there. And I already send you out a huge advance of gratitude for helping out in any way that you possibly can. Now, if you're not keeping pace with the Global Sports Channel, we've got episodes coming to you thick and fast from Tasha Danvers, who's interviewing elite sports people all over the world, and there's some fantastic shows online, so don't forget to check them out. Go to our YouTube channel under Global Sports Channel, of course, and don't forget to connect with us on social media. Yes, we're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and you can connect with us there. Tell us what you think of our content, and tell us whether we can help you out through this connection now with the foundation of Sam. Until next time, my name's Mark Philpott. I wish you all a very happy, safe, and prosperous week ahead.